If you were planning on buying a Jeep Gladiator, hold your horses. Even though this truck might seem like a good proposition for off-road fans and people who value utility above all else, it has unfortunately been flawed with all kinds of issues for years now. This all resulted in its sales figures diminishing rapidly, and the worst thing is, Stellantis seems not to care at all about their customers' constant complaints. So to better understand why its beauty isn't skin deep, join us as we take you through the 6 shocking reasons why the new Jeep Gladiator is not selling. Number 6. A terribly dated powertrain. You know what grinds our gears? Treating your customers and fanbase like they're idiots. And Stellantis is doing just that with the Jeep Gladiator. You see, because most of the company's models went through a major restructuring concerning their powertrains. We expected the Jeep Gladiator to go through the same treatment. After all, the Ram 1500, the Dodge Charger, and even the Gladiator sibling, the Jeep Wrangler, have all either gone through or will go through a powertrain change, swapping their old and dated powertrains for a new one, such as the Hurricane 6. So what about the Jeep Gladiator, which was notorious for not offering anything but that achingly dated 3.6 Pentastar V6, for which it got massive criticisms? Will it get a hybrid or a V8 engine like the Wrangler? Or will it at least get a turbocharged 6-cylinder like the Ram 1500? No, of course not, because why would Jeep fans get nice things in their lives? Honestly, we were baffled by Jeep's decision not to include a torquier, more powerful engine with the 2024 facelift. But now, we're just furious. Jeep, you already have a V8 that is well prepared for this platform, which would make a world of difference for those of us who have no replacement for displacement. On the other hand, the 2.0 4xe plug-in hybrid would benefit those who need a more frugal all-rounder. But no, you just had to keep a good dog down, didn't you? Hard feelings aside, we have to say that we understand why the plug-in hybrid didn't make the cut, as it would be tough to implement this system into a body-on-frame truck. But then again, Toyota managed it with the new Toyota Tacoma, so why couldn't Jeep? And why wouldn't you just replace the godforsaken 3.6 with the brand new Hurricane 6 unit? It would have been so much better for all kinds of utility work, seeing how it has both acres of horsepower and torque in surplus compared to the Pentastar. The more we think of it, the more agitated we become, so it's best just to move on, wouldn't you agree? Number 5. Powertrain and drivetrain issues. Listen, we have to be honest, the 2024 version of the Jeep Gladiator isn't as bad as the pre-facelifted model. The older models were just terrible in every conceivable way of that word. Heck, imagine buying a new car just for it to develop a terrible wobble of the front wheels, which can easily lead you to have a horrific crash. And all that because some genius from Ohio didn't check if the front axle was properly fitted. Additionally, imagine getting a brand new pickup truck and driving it around for a week only to see that your driver's seat has already started creasing very violently because the cloth wasn't sewn correctly. Oh, let's not forget about the fact that numerous owners have complained about their paint chipping away easily and even bubbling after only a few months of ownership. Now, as we said, the 2024 version is a bit better in this regard, as Jeep has actually invested itself in fixing issues that people have been complaining about. However, in their infinite wisdom, they've completely forgotten about the fact that nobody likes the way the manual transmission works. It's incredibly unrefined and is a massive letdown for the entire truck. And the worst thing about the manual issue is yet to be tackled. Number 4. No automatic gearbox as standard. Yes, despite it being 2024, the Jeep Gladiator is still offered with a manual transmission only, regardless of the trim level you pick. Even if you opt for the range-topping Rubicon X, you'll still have to pay almost $3,000 extra for the automatic transmission, which is just unbelievable. Ironically, as much as we don't like the manual transmission due to how horrendous it is, we aren't sure if we recommend the automatic either, as you don't get a whole lot with it. You see, this is a 6-speed Aisin gearbox, which is worlds apart in every possible way from the Ford Ranger's gearbox, or even Nissan Frontier's offering, which by the way is considered to be the worst pick amongst mid-sized pickup trucks. First of all, because it's a 6-speed, you won't just get similar MPG to the manual Gladiator. Oftentimes, it'll be even worse, especially when both trucks are driven economically. Next up, the gearbox will tend to keep the engine revving high, meaning that you'll have to get used to the engine constantly screaming to your ear. Finally, the Aisin transmission is also considered to be very underwhelming when it comes to shifting gears, as it can feel lethargic and jerky from time to time. And the cherry on top is the fact that it isn't particularly reliable either. So why are you paying $3,000? Honestly, we don't know. Number 3. Lower end trims are severely under-equipped. Now, credit where credit's due. The higher trim levels of the Jeep Gladiator are, despite that transmission nick, pretty well equipped. You get leather seats that are heated and ventilated, you get ample safety features, and loads of creature comforts that will make the driving experience less nauseating. However, the lower end models of the Jeep Gladiator are very rubbish and very sparingly equipped. For example, neither the base model Sport nor the more expensive Nighthawk come with the leather-wrapped steering wheel, nor do they have any electronic seat controls. You'll have to pay quite a bit more money if you expect such insignificant things to be added to your palette of features. Furthermore, the base model Sport doesn't even come with LED headlights. It has halogens. Halogens! In 2024 for $40,000. Can you even wrap your head around this? The Ford Maverick, which is almost half its price and is considered to be the most budget option of a pickup truck on the market, comes with LED headlights as standard, and it did so from the get-go. To get LED headlights, you'll have to skip the next 2 trims, which are the Sport S and the Nighthawk, and get the Jeep Gladiator Willys, which is some $10,000 more than the base model. But with the Willys trim and onwards, things seem to look far better, as these versions are quite well equipped for the price. Number 2. Interior leaves a lot to be desired. Even though the higher trim levels offer a lot of features, they leave out one crucial thing, which is interior quality. Now, sure, the 2024's interior is 1,000 light years ahead of the pre-facelift in terms of interior quality, but even then, it can't come close to the majority of its peers, especially if you go for the more expensive options. The old one's interior was more akin to the Ford Maverick than the Ford Ranger, as it was made almost entirely from scratchy plastics and cheap materials overall. And while this new truck offers better seat materials and a dashboard that is of higher quality, you'll still be greeted by quite a bit of cheap and nasty plastics all over the interior. Now sure, we get it. Hard plastics are more durable, and the point of the Gladiator is to be a no-nonsense pickup truck. And while we'd agree with Jeep usually, the fact that this truck costs a small fortune seems to contradict that no-nonsense statement. Number 1. An incredibly steep price point. With the Gladiator starting at just under $40,000, it takes up the spot of the most expensive mid-size truck on the market currently on offer. Yeah, curb your no-nonsense Jeep. This price is very nonsensical. It becomes even more stupid when you realize that most of the lower end trim models keep making no sense at all to purchase, as they cost upwards of $45,000 and offer a whole lot of nothing to help their case. The first trim you should really consider is the Jeep Gladiator Willys. However, prepare to pay nearly $50,000 for it. And the prices only get more expensive with every other trim level, clocking at a figure just north of $65,000 for the Mojave X and Rubicon X, without any optional extras, of course. You'll need an additional $5 to $10 grand to opt them out too. Now, we understand that other pickup trucks cost a lot of money too, and the discrepancy between the base and the top of the line model is just as big with them. However, most of these trucks tend to offer various powertrains, and virtually all of the top range powertrains can run circles around the 3.6 V6 we previously mentioned, which is why we can't justify such a price gap. However, the Gladiator's high price tag simply cannot be vindicated because it just has one severely underpowered unit under its hood. Honestly, it's just sad seeing how Stellantis keeps degrading Jeep as a brand. Let's hope that they fix these issues in the upcoming years, as there is nothing that would make us sadder than seeing the king of off-roading be dethroned because of their stupidity and wrongdoings.